Hello, welcome everyone. Hello, welcome everyone to this session. There is no doubt that digital transformation is a challenge today and for the years to come. It is a transformative power that will be felt in every sector of the economy and also in every aspect of our lives. Data and data sharing are the cornerstones for a successful digital transformation. And this is the real point. Combining data from different sources can increase the performance and value of digital services. Sharing data enables collaboration and data-driven decision-making. However, several challenges for data sharing can be found. Key factors are the lack of full transparency and also privacy. In this case, standardization for the data sharing can help to reduce these kind of factors. In this context, the European Gaia X initiative has been developed in order to foster the growth of digital ecosystems to share information through a federated architecture of data spaces. Always having in mind the European values as the digital and data sovereignty, full transparency, openness, and privacy. In Spain, the Gaia X Hub has been created in order to promote the local ecosystem. A lot of interest has been raised, especially for the tourist data space. More than 170 entities has joined the Spanish hub. Regarding the architecture, the Gaia X model specifies the technical building blocks. And so we understand that they are really complemented with other architectures as the IDSA architecture or the fireware. Right now, I would like to present the industry experts we have in the panel. Diego Malladas is the IT digital director in Gestamp and the CTO in Indesia, and also Javier Herrera is the business developer for industry in Tecnalia. First of all, Javier, having in consideration in your experience from a technical point of view, what challenges are raised by the data sharing architecture standardization?
Thank you, José Luis. Well, I will take your question and put it upside down, I will say that the challenges are confronted by the architecture documents that mainly Gaia X has emitted in the last months. Last year was the year of the setup, so everything has been prepared to be adopted this year. That is the year of the adoption, and the next year will be the year of the growth. And then growth. And then everything that can be feared of data sharing is already registered and technically solved in the documents that has been issued by Gaia X ASBL. So the next challenge, the actual challenge, is to adopt it. But you're right that there are some characteristics, some features that are specially treated in the documentation. So first of them is the decentralization. And this is very important because Gaia X is an ecosystem of ecosystems. So everything must be perfectly work together in order to provide this ambition of having data wherever they, using data wherever they are. And the second one is automation. Because if you have such a complex ecosystem of ecosystems, you cannot rely on people writing with pencil and paper if you are allowed or not working in this ecosystem, etc. So everything must be automated, and this is a challenge by itself.
Thank you very much, Javier. For sure, having a standard architecture reduces all the risk we are talking about. Diego, I understand that you have an oriented, you have an industry-oriented vision. And what do you think about it?
Thank you. We have, in the industrial ecosystem, we have many challenges. We are talking about different protocols, different technologies. I'm sure that you all have found this kind of circle when we talk about Industry 4.0, where we find big data, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. Even we are talking now in the future about quantum computing and other stuff. So it's an ecosystem where, and connected with the supply chain, we have many people there with different standards, with different technologies, and the main challenge always, from my point of view, is the interoperability. No? And following what was commenting before, there are different approaches, and one important is to talk about federated systems. And this is what Gaia-X provides us. No? It provides an structure and the components. We have the architecture components that we can already use, are mainly the data brokers and other components that you can be working in a specific technology, but you can exchange information with other partners, and you can be sure that the data is with the privacy, with all the different dimensions that are required, no? To ensure that the things are doing in the right way. And in all of this ecosystem, as I said, the data spaces and Gaia-X as initiative, one important thing is that we need to start think out of the box and think, okay, in new business models. No, we have already the technology. We can ensure privacy. We can ensure many things. But we need to think, okay, now that we are in a connected supply chain, how we can create new business models, new use cases, and things around that. No, so I think that the technology is there. I mean, of course, there are these challenges about, as I say, think on this interoperability and think that there are different players on this supply chain that has, let's say, different technologies and things. So the technology is ready, but we need to move into this next step, no? And this apply that into the use cases that we find. Yeah.
You have, Diego, point out a key factor, yes, that for sure is the privacy. Yes. I mean that this is a key factor for the data sharing. Yes. And of course, all the paid technologies, all the privacy and hate technologies, they are they can be used. I mean that they are a broad range of technologies that are designed to use the data without risking its privacy. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Well, I understand that you have a big experience working with the cryptographic algorithms or and so on. I mean that could you please tell just your experience about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, just connecting also with the first question, when we talk about data spaces, we are always, let's say, the first feeling is we are afraid of sharing data. No, we are thinking that, okay, we have our data, we have some business and things, and we think that if we share the information, we are going to lose the competitive and all these things. No. When we talk about data spaces, we are not talking about, let's say, data transfer to other systems. We are talking about, as I said before, interoperability. We are talking about create algorithms, artificial intelligence algorithms together in the supply chains. And as I said, there is already, we have already a technology to make that secure with privacy, etc. So if we go for this part that José Luis, you were asking in the question, there are already some technologies. We have, for example, homomorphic encryption, we have federated learning, and we have these technologies that, from the technical point of view, let us, for example, with the first one, we can train a model with data that is encrypted. We don't need to transfer that data to someone in the supply chain and say good luck and train the model. So this is the first thing. But the second, with the federated learning, we can train models and you don't need to transfer the data. And this is also a data space. It's also a principle of data space. No? So we have already some use cases. For example, in the automotive sector, we have a Catina X. That is one kind of data space where all the guys in the supply chain and the automotive sector, we are already thinking on how to exchange data. And as I say, we have already the technology ready to make that and to be sure that we have privacy. Of course, sometimes there are some challenges if you connect all these guys, no, to be in the same, let's say, technology level, but we have already that on production.
Thank you very much, Diego. For sure, PET technologies are the place where we need to go. I mean, PET technologies can increase different factors as the interoperability and as the transparency. Javier, do you, I mean, would you like to add some words to?
Yeah, adding to what Diego said, there are many other technologies that can be conducive to give us this feeling of privacy, differential privacy, federated analysis, etc. But perhaps it's more interesting for the audience to know why do we need all that. And the reason is simple. When we talk to anybody in any industry about data sharing, they say, how the heck I will share data with my competitors, with my, etc. You don't have to share that data in the sense that your data is taken and put in a data lake for everybody to see it, use it, etc. The data that doesn't need to move from your premises, from your cloud, from your facilities. The only thing that is needed is that you define what kind of usage, who will use it, to what extent will use it, when it will use it, and even not the data themselves, but the results of services of analysis operating on this data. So the data is still in your premises. It's your data, if you like it. But the data is being used, and you can benefit from this usage. That's the key. But the data doesn't need to be going from one place to another. This is the gist of working on data that are not in your hands. And that is supposed to give us more opportunities to business in the future. That's the reason why we are providing this technology. But in any case, this is already done. We have done in Technalia. It's easy, if you think, from a technological point of view, but you need to provide it as a service. That's important, because if you force everybody to know all these technologies and to work in-home with them and all that, it can be a mess, of course. But if you find service providers that give you this opportunity, that will be easy. At this moment, it's not, but it will be.
This is a very interesting point. I mean, we can share our data without risking the privacy. I mean that we can reduce all the risky factors, and so in this case the technology, I mean that the privacy and hate technologies can help us. And so this is really interesting. I mean that we have been talking about data sharing. We have been talking about improving the data economy, about the Gaia X, the European Gaia X initiative. Also, for sure, the Gaia X Spanish hub. And so, Javier, also, we have 1 minute. I mean that in one last minute. I mean that if you want to give to the audience in your last message, please.
Yes, my last message is easy. We have all the components. We have all the pieces. We have only the only thing that we need to do now is to start working together with these components and create data spaces that can be valuable for everybody to make new business. But we need experimentation, and this is coming also from Gaia X. You don't need more documents, that there are already enough of them. We need to start working to put all this framework in place.
Okay. Really interesting. Diego?
Yeah, well, I'm very...
Just 1 minute.
Okay. I'm very aligned with what was commented before. I think just to some additional things. First, I fully agree with the part of the components and the architecture. We have already the data space standards, and we just need move for the use cases. And of course, we can talk about artificial intelligence, big data, massive IoT. We can talk about many different technologies, algorithms, etc. But the most important here is people. People is the key leverage of the change, no? And we need to focus first on the trainings, on find the right programs to move on that, and to share also this information in the universities, in the schools, etc. And second, we need to think also in the part of the reskilling of the people that is already in the different business, etc. Because are the ones that knows the use cases that we need to transform the supply chains. No? And so I would say that is somehow the summary. And in Desia, in this case, we are working all of this stuff, trying to share some additional documentation following these standards, frameworks, and trainings.
Thank you very much, Diego. What I can say, I mean that, guys, I mean that your message, I mean that they are complementary. I mean that they are not. I mean that they are focused on the same message, but I mean that perhaps slightly different, but of course complementary. Yeah. I mean that as a panel conclusion, I mean I have just 20 seconds, and so I would like to outline that the Gaia ecosystem is the environment that to boost the data sharing. I mean that the architecture standardization and the use of the privacy technologies can help to accelerate the digital transformation. And so that's all. I mean that data sharing, Gaia X, and for sure the Spanish hub of Gaia X. And so thank you very much. Thank you again, Javier and Diego, for your participation, and also thanks everyone for attending the panel.
Thank you.